Howdy, hello, and hey. Hey guys, can you believe this is the 12th video? It's been 3 months since I started this. That's crazy to me. I'm really excited about it though. However, I have to say that this week has been very difficult for me. There's a lot going on, and January has been, shall I say, a challenging month. And you know, it's been January, and to be perfectly honest with you, if you are not in one of the areas, which I don't know how you can be, in one of the areas where Mother Nature just really needs a bottle of Xanax and a big glass of wine, I don't know, because it has been insane since right before Christmas. Our weather has been nutsy. Sometimes it's really kind of hard to get motivated, and I'm really hard on myself about that. And I know that I could probably give myself a break here and there. And to be honest, it's kind of what I've been doing a little bit of this month. So, you know, I do the disclaimers. Obviously not a psychiatrist, psychologist, licensed therapist, anything like that. I am a life coach, and I also am practicing everything that I try to talk about. If I haven't already gone through it and mastered it, it is definitely something that I am continuing to work on a daily basis. And a lot of the things that I talk about are things that you might get on top of it, you might master it, but then something will come along and you'll have to do it again and again and again and again. But that's the way the world works sometimes. So I apologize. It's a couple days late because right now my house looks like a pharmacy, a beauty supply store, a toy store, and a Hot Topic all exploded in like the main rooms. And the reason why I say that is I wanted to take January, my target room to clean up was my main bathroom. And I did a little bit in there last year. I tried to take one room every month and focus on organizing things, cleaning things out. Last year I did every room in the house, and I got to do some in the shed and the barn. Just because I want to make sure that everything that I have is something that makes me happy. Because if something is in the room that doesn't make me happy, or brings back bad memories, or is just a big old mess, I'm not ever truly comfortable. And I know I'm not the only one. And then I was talking to my daughter, and she was talking about feeling very overwhelmed. And this is what brought on today's topic. And her room has just been like, I can't even explain it. Those of you who've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And she really opened up and talked about how it's just overwhelming, and there's just too much to look at. And so instead of knowing how to do anything about it and saying anything about it, she just kind of puts blinders on, doesn't want to look at it, pretends that it doesn't exist, and just goes on with her day. But there's always that feeling of unease there. And I was like, I get it, baby girl, because I go through that all the time, and I'm doing that this month. So I thought, you know what, maybe today's a good day to address it. I'm going to take this week as a break from the royal farce, because we've got a couple more to dip into on there. But I wanted to talk about when chaos becomes too overwhelming and it begins to take control. I think that all of us experience this at one point in time or another. What she did when we moved into this house is she shoved a whole lot of things in her closet. She has not used that closet since we moved into this house 2 years ago. And I said, okay, so what do you want to tackle first? And she said, my clothes. I said, all right. So she's got a dresser, but she has things all over the place, so she can't get her clothes neatly put away, and she can't get her clothes hung up. So I said, all right, let's do that, because that's the biggest part of the mess. So we went and we got a few things that could help out. Yesterday, we decided to do sort of that Marie Kondo idea of take everything and put it on the floor. So we had Mount Rain in our living room. And what she did is she would pick up one thing, just like it says, and she would look at it and she would decide if this was a piece of clothing that invoked good feelings. You know, the way that they put it is, does it bring you joy? Does it make you happy? Are you happy when you wear it? Do you wear it? You know, or is it something that you can let go of and let somebody else use, and then they can be happy with it? And so that's what we did. We did that for a few hours last night. And so we had the stuff that she was going to keep was separated into, we're going to fold these and we're going to hang these up. And then the donation pile, which was pretty significant. I was quite proud of her. That is an amazing method of doing things. I tell myself to do that all the time. And I know that when things are really hard, things get tough sometimes for me, I tend to kind of want to curl up in a ball and put those blinders on and put myself in a cocoon. I don't want to look at other things that are going to overwhelm me. I know that there's a lot of people that they just look at something and they go, I have great plans and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean out the garage this weekend. And you go out there and you look around and you have no idea where to start. And you turn around and you go back inside and you're like, you know what? I think next weekend the weather will be better and I'll have a little bit more time. You know what? I'm going to go shopping today. It's a nice day. I'm going to go work in the yard or something like that. Yeah, it's that. We all have that. We all have the junk drawer in the kitchen. We all have something that we avoid. And that avoidance gets louder and louder the more we get overwhelmed with the way that life is around us. And we think of every excuse possible to avoid this big task that's in front of us. The thing about it is, that's your stuff. So what is it about that creates this avoidance? You know, it's our stuff, therefore it's our mess. I'm going to tell you a story about me and what happened to me. I wasn't out of college very long, and we had a death in the family, and I didn't deal with it well. Being the person that I am, and some of the things that I can do, death is different for me. It's strange. It's a strange feeling, and this particular incident was something that did hit me very hard, but I hadn't realized exactly how hard, because I had shut down any of those psychic abilities pretty much. And you know, when you do that, sometimes it just comes beating down your door. What happened over the course of some time, and depression continued to sink in, and I started having some severe anxiety, panic attacks that were massive. One of the things that bothered me was being around food and hearing people. It sounded like if I was somewhere and people were eating, the sound of chewing, the sound of forks on a plate, anything like that. Watching someone eat was, I couldn't do it. Over the course of time, I had lost a lot of weight, way too much weight, because I was refusing to eat. And that was because the kitchen was 10 steps away from where I slept. And the bathroom was 12. I wasn't trying to be anorexic. It was nothing like that. And I remember laying there and praying, God, if you want me to die, then take me. And if you have a purpose for me, shine a light, show me. And he did. And that was my own miracle that happened. And I was able to go get help, because at that point, not only couldn't I go to the kitchen or to the bathroom, I couldn't get off of one half of the bed. I was a prisoner in my own mind and in my own body. There's a name for that. It's an avoidance thing that happens to people sometimes when you have some depression and anxiety, and it's called agoraphobia. Now, this was set on because of the death in the family, and then there were other things that were beginning to set in, and again, dealing, or let me say, not dealing with the situation and the person who had passed away and everything. I was fortunate to have had family and friends who helped me back from the brink of death. When I started getting a little bit better, I did go, I had very, very, very intense therapy, very intense sessions, group sessions. I was medicated. They did everything that they could. And when I was finally at a better place, they had let me know that I was just a couple of days from dying. I think I knew that the day that I curled up in a ball and just said, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. I'd had episodes like that in the past. I'd had them when I was in college. I'd had them when I was younger, even. And I was able to trace them back even to 5 years old. And I'd always been able to pull myself back out of them. But each one of them would last longer and longer and longer. And I finally got the help, and I got the therapy. And that was when my therapy journey began. And that was when I was trying to start learning to take more control of my life. But the main thing was to make sure that I was healthy. But I noticed that even as things continued to happen and as life continued to get hard, and I experienced a lot of things, you know, losing things, losing people, and starting over again and again and again, and looking for happiness, looking for love, looking for, I don't know, something. Because I felt like I was missing something. And throughout that process, I noticed that I had gone from once a week, I would really clean up and, you know, enjoy just the whole house. And I had started getting nice furniture, like for my bedroom. And I tried to make my bedroom my haven, my little safe space that I could go to if I needed to. So I tried to make sure that I kept it clean and my clothes put away and that it didn't get messy. But then again, and there were a couple of situations that caused me to kind of live out of boxes for a while. And they were just not great situations. And it took some pretty harsh things that some people had said to me to kind of wake me up to realize that I was doing the same thing. I was avoiding a task that felt impossible. Really, I was overwhelmed. I wanted to just curl up in my room and watch TV. And I just didn't have the energy for it because I was sinking into depressions again. So I wasn't dealing with the same kind of anxiety. I wasn't dealing with the panic attacks anymore. But all of a sudden I realized this, and this was been in the last like 5 years. I went, I'm avoiding again. Bing! And I had been lying to myself. And that's when I started promising myself that I was going to pick back up again with, how can I make this easier? How can I make this better? And the only way I think that we can truly come out of that is what I learned the first go around was the therapy. I mean, obviously the medication really helped, but it was the therapy. Because the avoidance, that's just a symptom. It's a symptom of something else going on. Whatever it is that you're avoiding, I mean, obviously I needed to eat. I needed sustenance with the bathroom. If I ate something, I was going to have to go to the bathroom. And the bathroom was 2 steps further. And if it was too hard for me to go 10 steps to the kitchen, it was way too hard for me to go 12 steps to the bathroom. There is no logic there. And I understand that. Thankfully, my friends and my family were able to gradually pull me back from that. And I saw it in enough time. This time was a little bit harder because it wasn't that drastic. It was something that creeped in a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time. And when you're burdened with so much and you feel like your friends are tired of hearing about it, your family's tired of hearing about it, and maybe you feel like nobody really understands because it's not happening to them and they don't see it and they don't know how you feel. That's when you begin to feel more and more alone, and those blinders get in tighter and tighter and tighter. And when I started working harder to turn my life around again, that was when I realized that I was avoiding again, that I hadn't dealt with all of the crap that I had inside. And I realized I was avoiding. And it was hard to know that I was talking to my daughter and that was something she was doing. And I said, let's do this. Let's pick one thing that you want to do and we'll do it. And then throughout the week, maybe we'll take little teeny tiny bites out of something else. And then next weekend, we'll do something else. And I want to leave you with this thought. And this is what I teach my students who feel overwhelmed in math or whatever subject I'm teaching them. Is that when you're in kindergarten, you're standing at the foot of a mountain and you're looking up at it. And let's say in math terms, you're looking up, and if somebody were to hand them a problem in trigonometry or calculus, they wouldn't know what to do. They'd have no clue. You're giving them something that's very complicated, and they wouldn't even know where to start. And so I tell my students that. And I'm like, when you face a challenge and you don't know where to start, how do you climb that mountain? People used to say, how do you eat an elephant? And boy, would I get some crazy answers with that. Whenever I would talk to my students, and I'd ask them that. So I'd kind of change that one to, how do you climb a mountain? And the answer to that is one step at a time. One step. That's it. That's all. Every step that you take in a forward direction, just like those goals that I was talking about for New Year's. No resolutions, no broken promises. Be proud of yourself for every little teeny tiny step that you make, because it gets you one step closer. And along the way, nobody's going to tell a kindergartner that they have to climb that mountain alone. You're going to have to take classes to learn how to climb a mountain, especially if it's a really difficult mountain. There's your teachers. And you're going to have extra help along the way. You're going to have those people that have been there, done that. They've got good tips. They've got good ideas. They've got ways that will make things easier for you. Those are people like me. They're friends, maybe other people that come along the way. Maybe YouTubers that have cool math videos or something like that. Those are the people that give them extra little boost. So when you feel overwhelmed, take one step. And I did that. Except for that crazy bathroom. Now it's all sorted. Now it just has to be put in the containers that I got to keep it sorted. And my daughter asked me, well, what if I don't have time to do this? You know, that's okay. You know, because Marie Kondo's like, take everything, take every piece of clothing that you have in a huge pile and go through it until you've finished. And for me, that was impossible to do. I couldn't do that, especially when I had all the knee surgeries and stuff. So what I did was one drawer at a time, if that's all I could do. And I set aside one room every month, and if all I could do was a couple of drawers in a day, that's what I did. But guess what? At the end of the year, I had done it. I had organized my pantry, I had organized my spice cabinet, I had organized my pots and pans. It was amazing. I did my kitchen. I did my bedroom. I went through it all. My closet looks better. My everything looks better. Except for right now, you know. The pharmacy and Hot Topic and beauty supplies and stuff like that out here. The point is, don't give up. It's okay to curl up in a ball when you feel overwhelmed. Get your little blankie and throw on some Netflix and some hot chocolate or whatever it is that you want to drink. And have a couple of days where you do that, because it's okay to feel overwhelmed. Life is hard. Again, it sucks sometimes. But remember, you don't have to conquer it all in a day. It's okay. It takes time. It takes work. That's the thing. Be patient with yourself. It's okay to take it one step at a time. It really is. My challenge for you today is the thing that you are avoiding. And if you're avoiding a lot of things, like back closet or junk drawer or something, think about it. Don't just turn. Don't put up your blinders, curl up in a ball and hide from it, because guess what? It's still there. Find one thing that you can do and do it. Just one step. Do one step. And the other thing that I kind of wanted to do as a short thing today was to do a 12-week check-in and say, how are we doing on our journals? Are we doing any of these challenges? I really hope that you guys are. Because again, remember, this isn't about me. This is about you. This is about anybody who's watching these finding ways to cope with life and finding ways to be happy and healthy and successful, and finding out what that definition is for you. So again, thank you so much. I really hope that you guys will share some of these thoughts and share some of these videos with other people. Again, like, subscribe, comment, all of that fun stuff. It will help us eventually, I hope, get to more and more people. That would be a lot of fun. And if you have questions or thoughts or comments about your junk drawer or that scary closet, or maybe even it's your whole house, let's help each other. Let's find ways to help each other out. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I will see you next time.